In the bustling big city, Yasmin hurriedly walked through the busy streets, balancing her work folder and a to-go coffee cup. At 28 years old, she was a young single mother, a talented graphic designer determined to build a better life for herself and her 6-year-old daughter Amy. Yasmin had always been a dreamy and romantic girl. At 21, still in design school, she met a guy a few years older who captivated her with promises of eternal love. Against her parents' warnings, she gave herself completely to that overwhelming passion. However, when she found out she was pregnant, the guy simply disappeared, leaving her alone to deal with the situation. Those were difficult times, but Yasmin found strength in the unwavering support of her parents. They took her in, helped her finish her studies, and became devoted grandparents to little Amy. With a lot of effort and sleepless nights, Yasmin managed to graduate in graphic design, balancing her studies with taking care of her daughter. Now, on that sunny Monday morning, Yasmin arrived anxiously at her new job at a renowned advertising agency. It was her big chance to finally enter the workforce in the field she loved so much. As she entered the modern and trendy office, with colourful walls and work desks arranged in an open environment, she was greeted by the friendly receptionist. "Good morning. You must be Yasmin, our new designer, right? Welcome. The HR department is already waiting for you for the onboarding procedures," said the smiling woman. Yasmin returned the smile, feeling a mix of nervousness and excitement. After filling out some forms and receiving her badge, she was taken to meet the creative team. That was when her eyes met Dave's for the first time. Tall, with messy brown hair and expressive green eyes, Dave was also new to the company and was being introduced to the team. Their eyes met, and they both smiled shyly. There was something magnetic about that first encounter. In the days that followed, Yasmin and Dave were assigned to work together on an important project for a new client. The long hours spent poring over concepts and layouts allowed a friendship to naturally blossom between them. Dave was funny, creative, and passionate about his work, qualities that Yasmin admired. One afternoon, after finishing a presentation, Dave finally gathered the courage to ask her out to dinner. Yasmin's heart raced, torn between the joy of catching the interest of someone so special and the fear of how he would react upon learning about Amy. She took a deep breath and decided to be honest from the start. "Dave, I have a 6-year-old daughter." For a moment, silence hung between them. Yasmin was already bracing herself for the rejection she had so often experienced before. But then, to her surprise, Dave's face lit up with a genuine smile. "No problem at all, Yasmin. She's also invited if you want. How about we go to a fun pizzeria on Saturday?" That spontaneous and welcoming response touched Yasmin deeply. It was the first time someone reacted so positively upon learning she was a single mother. Even so, she preferred to be cautious. "Thank you, Dave. Your reaction means a lot to me, but I think it's better if it's just the two of us first. I need to get to know you better before introducing you to Amy." Dave agreed, respecting her decision. In the meetings that followed, Yasmin was increasingly charmed by Dave's sweet personality and integrity. He made her laugh like she hadn't laughed with a guy in a long time, listened to her with genuine interest, and demonstrated a rare maturity for his 28 years. At work, Yasmin observed how Dave was ethical, dedicated, and well-liked by his colleagues. After more than 2 months of getting to know each other better, she finally felt she was ready to take the next step. On a Saturday afternoon, Yasmin took Amy and Dave to a city park. Her heart was racing, anxious to see how this first meeting between two important people in her life would unfold. Dave arrived with a colourful package in his hands, which he handed to Amy with a warm smile. "Hi, Amy. Your mum told me you love to draw. I brought an art kit for you. I hope you like it." The little girl's eyes sparkled as she opened the present and found coloured pencils, crayons, and a drawing pad. "Wow, thank you, Uncle Dave," exclaimed Amy excitedly. The three of them spent a delightful afternoon in the park. Dave would push Amy on the swing, chase her on the slide, and the three of them had a picnic on the grass, while Amy proudly showed off her drawings. Yasmin watched, enchanted at how naturally and affectionately Dave interacted with her daughter. At the end of the afternoon, while Amy played on the jungle gym, Dave approached Yasmin. "She is incredible, Yas. So smart and full of life. You've done an amazing job raising this girl." Yasmin felt her eyes well up with tears at those words. It was as if a huge weight had been lifted from her shoulders, the full acceptance from Dave regarding her reality as a single mother. That night, while putting Amy to sleep, the little girl sleepily asked, "Mummy, is Uncle Dave going to be part of our lives forever now?" Yasmin smiled, moved. "I hope so, my love." "I too, Mummy," replied Amy, closing her little eyes. Months passed, and the relationship between Yasmin and Dave blossomed, full of affection and companionship. Amy loved the moments they spent together, and Dave became more and more attached to the girl every day. However, not everything was perfect. One night, Dave went to a bar with some friends. It was supposed to be just another night watching sports, with laughter and trivial conversations. The place was crowded. The sound of clinking glasses and music in the background filled the space. Sitting at a corner table, the jokes started to become more personal when the conversation turned to Dave's love life. "So Dave, how's the family man life treating you?" joked one of the friends, in a tone that drew mocking laughter from the others. Dave, who was used to harmless comments, chuckled slightly, but something in his colleague's expression indicated that the conversation was about to take a different turn. "Oh, Dave, did you really fall for that trap of raising another guy's kid?" said another, amid laughter, while taking a sip of beer. Dave furrowed his brow, feeling his blood begin to boil, but he tried to stay calm. "It's not a trap, man. It's love. There's nothing more important than that." However, another colleague joined the conversation, increasing the dose of sarcasm. "You're being foolish to accept a woman with a past. Seriously, why don't you find someone without baggage?" The laughter continued, but Dave didn't find it funny at all. He placed his glass on the table firmly, the sound of the glass against wood silencing part of the group. His eyes were serious, and the tone of his voice changed completely. "Do you realize what you're saying?" he asked, in a calm but irritated tone. The group fell silent for a moment, caught off guard by Dave's reaction. "Talking about the woman I love and her daughter in that way is disgusting, and honestly, it says much more about you than it does about me." He stood up, placing his hands on the table and looking at his colleagues one by one. "Yasmin is an amazing woman, stronger and braver than any of you can imagine, and Amy is a wonderful girl full of life who taught me what really matters. If you think their past diminishes who they are, the problem lies with you, not me." The silence at the table was awkward, but Dave didn't care. He grabbed his jacket and left without looking back. When she arrived at Yasmin's apartment, she immediately noticed that something was wrong. He entered slowly, took off his jacket and threw it on the sofa, seeming lost in thought. "What happened, Dave? You seem strange," Yasmin asked, concerned, approaching him. He shook his head, forcing a smile. "It's nothing important," he replied, trying not to make her worried. Instead of explaining, he pulled her into a tight hug. "I just want you to know that I am very happy to have you and Amy in my life. You both mean everything to me." Amy, overhearing the conversation, ran over and clung to his legs, laughing. "Uncle Dave, I love you too," she said, full of joy. Dave leaned down, picking Amy up and hugging her along with Yasmin. He felt them both in his arms, remembering that no malicious comment could shake what they had. There, in the warmth of that embrace, he knew he was exactly where he was meant to be. Even within his family, Dave encountered resistance to his relationship. Once, an aunt of Dave's called him aside to talk privately during a family lunch. "Dave, dear, look at our family. We are all so well structured with solid principles. Are you sure you want to get involved with a woman who carries that burden from the past?" Dave took a deep breath, containing his irritation. "Aunt, with all due respect, Amy is not a burden, not for Yasmin nor for me. I love that girl as if she were my own blood. and I will no longer tolerate any negative comments about my relationship with Yasmin." The firmness in Dave's words silenced his aunt, who did not bring up the subject again. His parents, unlike other relatives and friends, quickly fell in love with their daughter-in-law and their little adopted granddaughter. From the first meeting, they warmly embraced Yasmin and Amy, as if they had been part of the family for years. Dave's mother, a gentle and affectionate woman, was immediately charmed by little Amy. She made a point of bringing homemade cookies for each visit and started inviting Yasmin and her adopted granddaughter for Sunday lunches, where the house was filled with laughter and relaxed conversations. Dave's father, a serene and wise man, demonstrated his affection in a practical and constant manner. Realizing that Amy loved stories, he started giving her illustrated children's books and read to her whenever he visited the family. During afternoons at the park or at picnics organized by Dave, his parents were always present, helping Amy build sandcastles or pushing her on the swing. For Yasmin, her in-laws became a safe haven. Dave's mother often listened attentively, offering valuable advice without ever being intrusive, while his father praised her for her determination and the wonderful upbringing she provided for her daughter. Both made sure to show Yasmin that she was loved and respected, not just for being the woman who had won their son's heart, but also for being the strong and dedicated woman she was. 2 years after that first meeting at work, Yasmin and Dave decided to take the next step in their love story. They were going to get married. The long-awaited day arrived surrounded by emotion and happiness. The small chapel, carefully chosen by the couple, was beautifully decorated with white and pink flowers, creating a romantic and welcoming atmosphere. Yasmin waited anxiously in the bridal room, standing before the mirror, delicately adjusting the dark curls framing her face. Her heart was racing, not just from the excitement of getting married, but from the certainty that she was beginning a new chapter alongside the man she loved and who also loved her daughter. Amy ran in, beautiful in her little flower girl dress. "Mommy, you look like a princess." Yasmin smiled, filled with emotion, hugging her daughter. "Thank you, my love. You look beautiful too, ready to carry the rings." The ceremony was filled with emotion. When Amy walked in carrying the rings, Dave picked her up and placed her by his side at the altar. He made sure the little girl was present at all the important moments. Yasmin fought back tears as she watched the man she loved treating her daughter with such affection. They exchanged vows with voices choked with emotion, sealing their love with a passionate kiss as the guests applauded. At the reception, whispers and disapproving glances from some guests who did not fully approve of the union could still be heard, but none of that mattered to the couple, radiant with happiness. During the toast, Dave's father asked to speak. Everyone fell silent, curious to hear what the respected family patriarch had to say. "Dear friends and family, today is a day of great joy. Seeing my son Dave so happy alongside Yasmin and little Amy fills my heart with love, and it is precisely about love that I would like to speak." The man paused, as if choosing his words carefully. "Many here may not know, but when I met my wife Christina, Dave's mother, she was a few weeks pregnant. The biological father had abandoned her without taking responsibility." A murmur of surprise ran through the room. Dave smiled, squeezing Yasmin's hand. He already knew that story. "I fell madly in love with Christina, and I decided that the baby would be my child no matter what anyone said. We got married a few months later, and I embraced the pregnancy as if it were my own. Many thought Dave was born premature, but the truth is Christina was already pregnant when we met." Tears rolled down the faces of many guests, touched by the revelation. Dave's father continued, his voice choked with emotion. "Dave has always known this story, and I am extremely proud to see that he inherited from me not the blood, but the values, the ability to love unconditionally, to see beyond appearances and prejudices." He raised his glass, looking fondly at the newlyweds and Amy. "My family didn't start in the most traditional way, but we have built a story of love, respect and unity that lasts to this day, And that is exactly what I wish for you three, Dave, Yasmin, and Amy. May your love overcome any obstacle and prejudice. May you build together a beautiful family story based on true love, a toast to the newlyweds. All the guests stood up, moved, toasting the couple. The malicious whispers had turned into approving smiles and tears of emotion. Dave embraced Yasmin and Amy, his eyes shining with happiness. It didn't matter how that family had started. What mattered was the love that united them. And with that love, they were ready to write the next chapters of their lives together. This story shows us that the true concept of family isn't defined by blood ties, but by the bonds of love, respect, and commitment we choose to build. Yasmin, Amy, and Dave proved that what is essential in a family is mutual care, support in adversity, and the ability to welcome each other with open hearts. A family is formed by people who love each other unconditionally, who see beyond past mistakes and successes, and who are willing to walk together, overcoming challenges and celebrating the small and major victories in life. In the end, what truly matters is the union that transforms every obstacle into an opportunity to strengthen the love that connects them. Family is choice, it is construction, and above all, it is love. If you enjoyed the story, please leave a comment with a rating from 1 to 5 to show how much you liked it. Also, watch the video that is now appearing on your screen. See you soon.